All right.
Hello.
So either we're going to have Michelle Gibson back on ASAP, or you're going to have to edit us a new intro.
Quick, some contact Michelle.
I am going to have to email her here in the next day or two and get things set up. And yes, we have to have her back on. She's doing wonderful things.
We do. How is everyone in chat? Who have we got here? We have Just JP. Hello, Just JP. Edna Bell. And Sherry Lives. And
Sherry
all the sun has just jumped.
Edna
all right,
Bell.
So I think we went live about an hour early. But, we thought, why not?
Indeed.
Hello from Sri Lanka. Panel.
From Sri Lanka. Hello.
Oh, is that how I renewed?
Sri Lanka is filled with beautiful, awesome, megalithic, ancient, pre-cataclysm architecture and civilization. Are you close to Adam's Bridge?
Lots of cool stuff. That was where I think Arthur C. Clarke spent his last years in Sri Lanka as well, didn't he?
Amazing.
Was that the Sri Lanka? I believe it was.
Sheila Sampson.
Sheila Sampson, how you going? Hello. And of course, I've just got back from Melbourne. So hello to everyone watching from Melbourne. Who was there? We had an amazing time. And Brisbane, you're next. We are coming.
Awesome, right? Like, look at you, rejuvenated, shining. Like, it was the energy, right? I can just tell. And on to the next one. This is awesome. And, like, I'd be jealous, but I know that by this time, one more rotation by the next your winter, my summer solstice, I'll be over there with you guys. And if not half a rotation, we will have you over here and doing some stuff. Hello, Richie, Double O, the Magic House. Vivid.
We'll have to hook it up. I think Melbourne might have to be in the summertime though next, because seriously, Melbourne, what do you think? That's way too cold to live there. You should, the whole city should just pick up and move like a bit north, because seriously, the winds.
So there's about 2 months of opening that you will survive Canada, according to what you are describing right
exactly.
now. And it'll mostly be spent south of the border down in the U.S., I think we will do.
I'm making the snow skiing, if I've got very, very warm multi-layered clothing on, because I do like a bit of a snow ski, but to be in a city that's just freezing for no reason is silly.
It's July 1st, Canada Day in Canada right now. So it's like there's fireworks going off earlier in my stream with Rex that we'll be playing. I didn't record them anyways, but it's the point that Canada celebrates that, yay, there's 2 months that we're like as warm and happy as the rest of the world. And it's just these 2 months that you have. And it's right after the most amount of sun that's overhead. And Calgary actually puts on the Stampede next week, where world famous rodeo and 10-day outdoor giant events. And it's fireworks every day of that too. And literally, and then there's the 4th of July with America. That's, we pretty much celebrate too, and everything. It's like every day of summer, there's fireworks here because it's only 2 months long. And then it's ice cold, ice winter.
I thought you were going to say the Stampede was like people like running for the beach. Oh my God, we can go in the water.
Cowboys and indigenous running at cattle and horses and original ranch life. And, myself, I'm a 5th generation on my mom's side rancher settler from the U.S. and then Western Canada. The Bauer family is the Bauer Ranch. It's still in my family in the Kootenays, BC, but that's like a German. If you look at the history of the Bauers, I guess the Rothschilds originally were Bauers and then named themselves the Rothschilds as a branch of it. And originally it's spelled Bauer. Like, and then there's even in Canada
yeah,
hockey company or sports company, I guess Global Bauer. But we changed our name during World War II because my family, the history was a bunch of my like grandparents and uncles and whatnot all served in World War II and World War I on the Canadian side, of course. But so they changed the spelling of their name to Bower, Bauer. And my great grandma's ranch is the family today. So, you know, I just uploaded some pictures of my Instagram of myself when I was 3 years old riding a horse, like on the saddle all by myself and stuff. Like, you know, like,
wow.
So it's in my in my genes and in my epigenetics is what my biology and blood and physical dirt and, you know, under the nails. And my dad's side is also Doukhobor settler, which is Doukhobor, which is spirit wrestler in Russian, and it's right from they were my great grandfather, I believe, on my dad's side was one of the leaders of the former villages of the Doukhobors over in like former Russia, Georgia, the Caucasus Mountains area. And I like read the story. My grandfather showed it to me with my uncle one time of like how they had this giant burning of the arms. They refused to fight for the Bolsheviks against the Tsarist government. And then my whatever grandfather it was dragged to death behind a horse, as were like the rest of the leaders. But I guess luckily he had my great grandmother or whatnot beforehand. And then it was they were granted amnesty through Tolstoy, I think, wrote for them to the Queen of Victoria or whatever the monarchy of the Commonwealth was. And then all the Doukhobors were these Russian, essentially they've from the area of Tartaria, like right on the maps where they're, you know, it crosses at the Caspian Sea there. And there's like that city that kind of looks like somewhere in Central Asia, East Europe, Eurasia there, right? It says Tartaria. It's like right that area that our whole people were taken and then resettled Western Canada.
Yeah, I think it was Divergent, I think, the map. And it had, you know, where Tartaria went up really close to the Americas, which I get was it probably Alaska, I don't know, rather than Canada, but it was called Tartaria Summer Camp, like North America, like that region.
Yeah, there's actually been some really good research into that, showing that it seems like there were these Tartarian emirs or princes or czars or whatever they were called that could have possibly had these settlements throughout the Americas, like in harmony with like kind of the globalized civilization that there is today, you know, where there's like would have been your Chinatown, your Italian town, you know, like within these cities that were most likely like the World's Fairs that were then destroyed. And like if you look at those pictures, they all have like the Temple of India, the Temple of Italy, the Temple of Indo-Orient, you know, like it's the Temple of Greece, and it's like they're all in this Antiquitect styled, cathedral-esque palace, like styled, but still these like distinctive cultures of peoples, as if, you know, like each of the peoples on earth are a lot older than what we let ourselves believe, and that we have been this giant global civilization forever, sort of thing.
Yes, we've got a few thoughts on that coming up on the future Tartaria Australia, so you have to wait for that one. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff coming out about different you know, types of men and women, shall we say, and maybe when they were released and all this kind of stuff. Lots of stuff going on, man. But yes, who's in the house? Oh, hey, going welcome. Sherry Liv, Jim Dillinger, mate, welcome. Quiviria and King Tartarus. Who's Quiviria? Lady Lux, hello. Yeah, so now if you're watching, I've forgotten your name, but thank you. Someone made these little stickers, man. What do you reckon? Pretty cool. Someone made those at the event for us, and
sorry, I missed it. Show again. Show again.
Oh gosh.
Nice. I love that. Those are fresh, brother.
Little stickers. Yes, little
right?
stickers.
Building
So,
an online store, and that's also what I'm doing.
Yeah, so now I have to look into. Everyone was saying I probably should like copyright that. So I have, actually, I've got a contact. I've met a few good people of law in like comment or whatever you want to call it, non-corporate law.
Just independent industry.
Someone started up a company, and now I cannot remember what they're called, APMs or something. And it's basically the way that all these billionaires, all the psychopaths, all those dudes. That's the way they run their companies, so that they don't pay tax. They can't get done and go to court, but they can still trade as like a business.
Yeah,
so
actual business. And when you are your own sole proprietor, and then create a corporation and work business, but are a hard independent worker, and then work with your community in the same ways and use the laws to help shield yourselves and build the community. It's amazing how much you get done with it, right? It's awesome.
There is, right? And they're calling them not businesses, but livingnesses. Kind of cool. Hello, Rich Kid. How you going?
I love that.
Aaron, right? Yeah, a livingness, right? Because
you have to live. You have to be happy too, right? It's got to be your life. You're living like you enjoy your work. You enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
and make a living off of it.
Oh, nice, Cam. What's nice? Rich? Oh, my stickers. Yeah, okay, that's right. Sorry, getting there. Thank you. Yeah. Someone made for me, and they made ones for Kelly, for Tartari Australia, and for JCK, who was with the stage as well at the event. So that was awesome. And hang on, for the show. Dun, 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 dun. Not available yet, but coming soon. Can you see that?
Ooh.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, like kaboomy. Look, like as a silk screener myself, that is a lot of colors. Like for a lot of screens, like that is one epic shirt.
And then this is the shirt that was that all the volunteers got and that they wore the day. The amazing people that help seat people and run around with messages and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, see that. Now that's amazing. See, I was like, why isn't it orange? But the fact, sorry. So I was like, why isn't it orange? But the fact it's baby blue and was for the volunteers, that means it's an original print. And then for sale, you have the same print, but on the orange shirts for the public, right? And then it's
exactly. So they had blue and pink because we're very into genders, right? We have blue for the boys, for the girls. So we're so un-22. We didn't know how to work out which ones wore the blue or the pink, but we got them anyway. It's so confusing. I mean, what is a woman anyway, right? Didn't have my dictionary with me or my biology degree, so it was a bit hard.
That's awesome.
Both of you on the show.
Melissa Tress, how you going? Tress. Hello. Just Sean, hello. I'll talk over you just to make it hard to listen to. Oh, that's nice. You have to do it by typing. Hello, Dimitri Fetties. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at a video that Bernie was in recently, and I haven't seen it, but Bernie, he hasn't seen it either, but he was in it, and apparently it's very interesting.
Yeah, so
you're muted.
It was this week's episode of Weekend at BurnEye's that I've been doing every Friday night Pacific time at 8 p.m. on LeakProject.com. And then Rex edits it and puts it onto his YouTube channel later. Last week's episode, I had Eric Hecker on, who worked a year for Raytheon down and spent a full year at the South Pole base. And I with Rex, and it's got actually 25,000 views already this week, so it's quite good, only hour long. So that was last week's. This week's what was just done exclusively for all of you lovely souls joining in right now, before it's up on Rex's YouTube, just for us here. Michael Boyd, and Michael Boyd, he's a third generational scientist, engineer, and essentially military family. And in the presentation, he shows original footage of his grandfather in Antarctica with Admiral Byrd, nonetheless. Right? Like, just you'll have to stay tuned to see. But like, and then also there's so much, and he also deciphers with another scientist. They go in depth, taking apart, video analyzing the most recent Pentagon UFO UAP footages, releases, videos, encounters recorded by the military, acknowledged by the military, and now put out to the public. And this is some extremely cutting edge stuff, and you're going to want to stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned with this. And thank you, Mr. Bryce Timothy, is it Bush or Bush? Thank you for your offer of the stickers. I'm definitely going to be getting organized. Apparently, Kelly tells me I have to be more livingness like, not business like, livingness. So I'm trying to get organized. So we'll have a place soon where we can talk about that, because we are getting shops and all stuff happening. All this cool stuff's happening. Together we stand, united, we rise divine loves and blessings to all. Divine Hazel, thank you. Tara Payne, hello. I should be putting this on screen, shouldn't I? Edna, hello. Are you glad I'm back, or Bernie? Well, we like anyway. I like you. Thank you. Look up E Manitoba. It's an unincorporated community. There you go, Bernie. You got a pen?
Bernie, you want to be right to back?
All right. Got some stickers. Wanted to show.
Oh.
You had me reminiscing of artwork and stickers.
You have to write first. Quick. Get a pen and write down I Manitoba.
I Manitoba.
It's an unincorporated community. You might be able to learn something.
Look up L Manitoba. Okay.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Could be something there. Thank you, Mersey. Good old 33, Mason Bird. Yeah, definitely. He was, but stuff still went on down there, right?
Exactly.
And of course, we all know that he's. Tara Payne, aloha from Kauai. Nice, where it's warm. That's where I wanted to be last week, but instead I was in Melbourne. It was cold. Sorry, I'll shut up. Bernie, awesome photos. Stickers. Tell us.
Yeah, just different stickers of my clothing and artwork manufacturing past. Not the most epic ones that I wanted to grab and show, but just a brief example of my history within the industry. And that what I saw you have looked like some actually pretty awesome, like fresh, like good design, good quality. Because the thing is quality too. Like something like these, they're you can barely see. It's white ink on a white background. That's why it's not showing up. But basically, it's printed on something like this. The sticker will wear off the ink within like a couple of weeks when you place it. Where one of these that are like double laminated, I have some that I put up over 15 years ago when these stickers were originally printed on a ski pole in the Canadian Rockies, and on the gondola pole, sorry. And apparently it's still there to this day and lasts. And I like what I see there. That's awesome to see that you got high quality shirts and stickers, because the amount of colors, like this shirt I printed myself, 6 colors. I take 6 screens that I have to manually put for one each color, right? Like that I have to go around and do. So for that, like those are epic shirts that you have, my friend. And just stoked to see it.
Indeed, Sherry. When I was in Melbourne, we were walking down the street, and I hear this supercar engine, and there was a stretch Ferrari. I kid you not.
A stretched Ferrari
driving through Melbourne. It literally drove up right in front of me as I was like about to cross the street, and I was just like, "What the hell?" It was only like this tall.
Ferrari. So a limousine Ferrari,
proper stretched Ferrari. Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
That's absolutely
so there you
insane. Go. Because it's like
so
there's probably only like 3 of those in the world. Was
I don't think there'd be many.
Was there a Murdoch?
I've never even. The very tinted windows. I could see the driver though; he looked very happy with himself. But it was. So the back was just like a 4-seater, I guess. Just had like a bigger, like I think it was a gull wing. Was it, or was it? Oh no, I think it had a massive, I can't remember. But anyway, it was just ridiculous. I was just and of course, I took a phone there because I've had a phone. I didn't have a phone that worked on me, so I didn't even get a photo. But it
right? It's like insane. Never in the moment.
Never in the moment. Hello, Maddie Reed. And
who needs to document such materialistic things?
I know, right? Bloody hell, man. Gee, so 3D.
Speaking of Canada Day, I'm going to give my little Canadian history of the hockey Stanley Cup playoffs and riots that happen. And one year during the playoffs of the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins, I was in Montreal, and they think they won or they lost. I forget. It was so long ago. But there was a massive riot. It was like 20 years ago. And I had both of these stickers back then and mass produced. And I've got pictures on my Facebook of several cop cars, a couple even on fire, that have these stickers both on the bumpers and a couple even on their windshields. So, it's stickers. They do a lot.
Well, there you go. So can people find your wares on the interwebs?
Yes, sir. Burncron.com. Right here we got www.burncron.com. So funny story. There was 100,000 of these stickers made at one point. They mismade them. They were supposed to be water bottle stickers, so they're extremely cheap. If you leave this in the sun, it like literally loses its color within 5 hours. And yes, I've kept this one perfectly good and sealed in the dark for almost 20 years now since it was made. And then So this one literally cost me less than 1 cent Canadian to make each. And then these ones cost like $3 to make each, but they're like double laminated and literally last the Rocky Mountains for decades and the sun.
Nice.
But I was in Cuba, in Havana one time at the Grand Monument, whatever the big tower is, and then there's like the building that has oh my goodness, why can I not think of his name? I'm looking at his face right now. I've got the paintings from Cuba. The revolutionary Che Guevara, the big building that has like the Che Guevara like car figure on it, and then there's like this giant tower, like it's like a big obelisk or something in downtown Havana on the coast. And there's pictures of me where I put these stickers up like on the side and like taking a selfie, and then you see like the guards coming with like the AK-47s behind me, and then it's like the next thing you know, I'm like, oh my god, and they're yelling at me, and I had to like run, and like I jumped on a different tour bus, so then I had to meet up with
told me they could borrow without freedom. I've seen it on t-shirts, man. It's about rebellion and freedom. Come on.
Right, but here's the thing. Look, it's got pot leaves. I wasn't even thinking. It's like I found out later that would have gotten me like these drug crimes and like propaganda crimes. Like I would have been like 5 or 10 years in jail, like as like a Canadian hostage in the jail. Like, you know, like
drug propaganda, man. Drug propaganda.
But
now in Inquisious, is that how we say that? Inquisious man? What do you think? Or Inquisious, I'm going with. Yes, Rex isn't a photo earther, but apparently what we're about to show you is they don't even get into it. So it's basically just videos and sort of stories and facts. So it's not from any perspective. So there's something to take away for all. So should we get into it, Bernie?
Exactly. Sorry. For 40 minutes. Yes. Finally, oops. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Here we go.
Hi. Hello, Rex.
So
we're going to press play. We'll make it full screen and we'll run it, and then we may stop it and talk, or we may not. We'll see how we go. But we'll be in the chat and we'll be here at the end. So we'll see how it goes. Right? We're just making this up as we go, to tell you the truth.
Right, and it's that eventually we should have this. My aim is to have this where it'll be on the weekly weekend at BurnEye's stream, where we can just have it go live on yours, probably Alien Scientist as well as Rex's, and then also your and mine weekly alternative history, and we can probably get it up on all of their channels as well, and get some awesome disclosure and content happening.
Yeah, man. We're going Tartaria, smack some people. Yeah.
Tartaria Smackdown. If you smell. Oh, man. I was about to do the Rocks, like WWF line. And then I was like, no, I need to do the Hearts.
And I'm really looking forward to hearing more about what we were talking about.
No. Sorry. Thank you.
Guests with us on the WeekProject Network today. We have Michael E. Boyd and Bernie Conkin. Bernie, the Mad Alchemist. He's really nice. But so I've watched a bit of your
How
stuff,
is the sound?
Mr. Boyd? I'd really like to know more.
Did it mute out at one point?
Personally, you're an engineer. You're a physicist. Can you tell us a little bit about
it's your background? Okay now. I've got a tiny bit of
speaking with us today here at LeakProject.
Reverb.
Sure. I appreciate the opportunity.
So I'm going to mute it out
and share my work and thoughts with you and the people that are listening and watching. And,
sounds good, brother. We'll see you in a little bit.
My presentation. If you have any issues with the sound, please let me know, because I'll turn it up. I just sometimes have, because what I do is in my presentation, I'll have little videos embedded in my presentation slides. So, and in my presentation, I do have I do talk about my background, technically speaking. And but I put it in the theme of, like I said, nonviolent communication and basically what I call compassion culture.
Well, compassion culture is great. And, you brought up a minute ago about how violence, it seems like, is normalized in our environments. And you turn on the television and it has an abnormally high level of violence in the television episodes and the scripting. It's very weird, actually.
Well, it's actually it's like they do it like where you get to the climax where there's going to be like somebody's getting ready to hurt somebody or something or shoot somebody, and then they cut to the commercials.
Right.
Right.
Cycle, right? They have to have that programming in the farm and the
So I mean, basically, kids. If you take two toddlers that are from different families, different so-called race, whatever, and you put them together, they share. They're naturally giving to each other. You have to learn to enjoy violence, okay? And that's how they teach you to enjoy it, is using that type of technique, essentially. But
sorry, can I give a good example of that? For instance, just biology, like a cat, your pet cat, and a family, and or a dog, and playing with the animal, like the cat will take its claws in and intentionally never harm another species, another person within that group, right?
Mm-hmm.
For instance.
Yeah, I know. Well, being compassionate is, I think, a natural state. Being violent and aggressive is something, like I said, that you're programmed to do and enjoy. But in any case, if I could, I have a presentation that I'd like to share, if that's okay.
That'd be wonderful. Absolutely.
So can I go on share screen here? Is that okay?
Sure can. Absolutely. I clicked the button.
Okay, can you see the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything that says reptilians and volcanoes, sign me up.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go down here to, let's see here, just I'm turning off the video. Can you guys see this little video thing displayed up in the right upper side on your display?
Not yet. I just see the slide of the hypothesis for transdimensional earthlings.
Oh, okay, cool. So let me see here. Hold on, sorry.
Rex, just a little backstory. Have you ever seen the Jim Wills video where they're down in South America and his son's giving an interview about they found some church ruin or cathedral or something, and there was they went in and they were exposing the underground tunnels, and then there was a painting of this reptilian thing coming out of the cave, and it was if next time you talk to him, please bring up that video, because I just get the chills every time I see it or think of it. I paused it there for a second. C-Ray, so you're talking about Eric Hecker, who I did in last weekend's Weekend at BurnEye's interview. And what is actually beyond synchronistic and crazy is we literally see later in this video right here, Michael Boyd's grandfather, Boyd, going down into that exact same South Pole camp that Eric Hecker was tasked with decommissioning actually using. So we're going to see a video of Michael Boyd's grandfather using and being in that exact same camp. All right. Gonna shut up and play the video.
So yeah, I talk a bit about the reptilians and the whole reptilian conspiracy, and and I talk about the Greys. So, but from what I call the perspective of domination culture.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see. So now I have this slide here about Leslie.
Sorry, I paused it one more time just to give a little bit of perspective before we go forward. It's a 2-hour overall presentation that it's going to be edited into 3 different topic videos. So this is the big mass spew of gigantic amount of information coming up, and Mr. Boyd incorporates his own scientific background as well as background within the UFO community, both militarily as well as scientifically, and then also includes some humor, as well as goes into the epigenetics of intergenerational traumas, the control mechanism systems of trauma and of the human violence cycle and how it needs to be broken, and all of these different sorts of universal consciousness, karmatic, higher values, and pretty much everything that Spiral Up is being autodidactic of. So all of that is going to be kind of cycled through those 3 topics intermittently over the next video. With that preface, now I will finally shut up and let it play through. Love you all.
Keen, and it's so I want to talk about UFO stigma. Essentially, she was asked about, she's like a journalist, a pretty famous journalist, and she gave her perspective on UFO issues, what surprised her most, and she's talking about stigma. She said, especially in the early years of my reporting, I was most surprised by the lack of curiosity among scientists and policymakers about UFOs. I was also surprised by how entrenched and powerful the stigma was in the media and in the culture in general. It mystified me why just about everyone was not impacted by the potential implications of the evidence for this phenomena. It didn't take long for me to realize that most people in a position to make a difference were uninformed and understandably had other priorities. Still, given how fascinated I was with this, and given what it might mean if even one UFO was extraterrestrial, I found this apathy and disinterest hard to understand. So now, hold on, okay. I want to talk about what this stigma, domination culture, and intergenerational trauma. And I want to focus on, for example, the middle one, surviving slavery and racial violence in the American South. And then it shows Ashanti's great-great-grandparents' trauma passed on through the generation. And it goes abandonment, domestic violation, low self-esteem, CPTSD. And then it shows this genetic thing on the side. It's called epigenetics. So basically, if you don't deal with it when you work on your trauma, you choose to not pass it on to the next generation. So if you don't deal with it, though, it's passed on through what's called epigenetics. Now, there's this guy, Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. He explains in domination culture where we are taught to enjoy violence. Researchers and scientists who explore UFOs, ghosts, near-death experience, etc., experience the trauma of stigma. We discover that social stigma is a form of cultural violence that we pass on to our children. We worry more about being correct instead of knowing the truth. The truth is violence is part of our culture and trauma is intergenerational. Trauma is passed on through epigenetics.
We have giraffe schools. I use the word giraffe this year as a symbol for nonviolence. You'll see today.
Can you hear that
the
okay?
language we're going to study as a
Turn
language.
it up just a little bit, Mike.
And so I use giraffe language for that because giraffes
that
have
better?
the largest heart of any land animal. The language we're going to study is a language of the heart.
Sorry, I skipped
so
it
I
ahead
use
there
giraffe
because
language
there
for
was
that
video
because
edit
giraffes
or
have the
sound
largest
problem
heart
that
of any land animal.
yeah.
So,
It's fixed.
So for these political reasons and theological reasons, we started to develop a language that I call jackal language. It's a language that cuts us off from life and makes it very easy to be violent. Very easy to be violent. In fact, in that book I mentioned, Wink says that domination cultures, one of the things you have to educate people is to make violence enjoyable. Jackal language, as I've mentioned, is a language of moralistic judgments. You think in terms of who's right, who's wrong, who's good, who's bad. And when you mention change, yes, we want change at times. So how do you get change in the jackal system? Watch a parent try to bring about change in the child. This is a parent teaching a young child, say one of the most important words in jackal. Say you're sorry. I'm sorry. You're not really sorry. I can see it. You're not really sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I forgive you. Can you imagine a game like that? Can you imagine a parent responding to a child that way? And if a parent is going to do that to a child in their own family, what are they going to do to people from other cultures who behave in a way they don't appreciate?
So now I'm talking about this next slide. I'm showing some of my background stuff, but part of domination culture is you learn that basically it's built on a system of reward and punishment. And I'm an archaeologist, and as archaeologists, you study what's called anthropology. Archaeology is part of anthropology. And there's a lot of it has to do with this culture of domination, where and my theory is that it started about 10,000 years ago when we had what was called the Cultural Revolution.
Sorry, I just paused it there to give a little context of what he has up here is his working history throughout, as well as some of his science patents. And it takes reading over like 3 or 4 times to truly comprehend the magnitude of it all. But on my channel, we will be having future science podcasts on several of these different topics, including the anti-gravitic side of it and the nano oxide surface patent semiconductor patent technologies that he has in regards to my own cold fusion alchemy. And once again, back to the video.
Where before that, when we were hunter-gatherers, we depended on each other individually for survival, and that created a more egalitarian society. When we developed agriculture, we developed haves and have-nots, and that created a system where, basically, if you were, dominant, you could collect material wealth. And so as a result, this social stigma of normalizing violence basically took over. At least that's my hypothesis. Now, I also did this report for this essay for the Bigelow Institute for Consciousness Research. And in that, I was studying ghosts because I've seen ghosts. and
As have I, my friend, as have I. There
So-
are certain places that entities, it's almost like there's crossovers and stuff. But yeah, I'll let you continue, please. This is absolutely fascinating. The actual scientific and quick question: what scientifically are ghosts referred to? Is it like exoplasm? Is it like consciousness, spirit, anything like that, or just ghosts?
Well, a ghost, there's different kinds of ghosts. There's ghosts that are basically an echo in like space-time. So they go through the same pattern. They repeat the same pattern over and over again. And then there's ghosts that show intelligence. And what I think ghosts, and I've seen a lot of it for this research I did a lot of watching videos, and I see the ghosts doing the same type of things that the TicTac did. So I think that basically my personal belief is that there's like this medium, what we call space-time. And when death is a human construct. Let's just leave it at that. And I actually have an interview with a Gray here where he actually talks about it. But back to what I was talking about is this research. I was looking at this theory of mine about having, the agricultural revolution causing this social stratification and normalizing violence. So what I did is I looked at different religions. I looked at the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and the Mayan Book of the Dead. In both the Mayan Book of the Dead and the Egyptian Book of the Dead, they have what I would say reward punishment type thing. Especially the Egyptians, like they believed that you died every day and were reborn in the morning. And so you were judged every day. And then they had a final judgment where that's the one we're most familiar with, where Osiris would weigh the heart of the person against a feather. And if they were found wanting, they'd feed the heart to a crocodile god. So
I've read some of these ancient proverbs, and that's I'm just listening from my alchemy minded and inspired research to hearing that you've actually researched all of these ancient works, and I'm so intrigued right now. So please do continue with this, brother. I appreciate it.
cool. I appreciate it. So now what was really cool is I was studying the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and the Tibetans basically, nirvana is when you reach enlightenment, essentially you're in the void. It's the absence of everything. Which, and then I noticed that they have these things when you die, every day your family members are supposed to do certain prayers and stuff. And I noticed on the third day, they were talking about what's called karmic delusions. Now, you know what karma is. it's like karma is basically the reward punishment thing. And so what they basically say is in the third day, you get rid of your karmic delusions. And they talk about like, well, you know, if you're a Christian.
Also had to pause it right there because I meant to go back into this and never did in this topic, but my own thesis from experience of sleep deprivation over the years is that these loss of, after like day 3, it talks of this loss of ego essentially, and that's literally what the physical conscious experiences when you've been awake for 3 days. After that third day, you lose that ego. It's quite the astounding experience. It's almost like an out of body experience that you gain when you get to that point. But at the same time, you become extremely emotionally vulnerable to be able to be like triggered or have a mental breakdown and complete collapse of the conscious ego and self at that point. And even more so if the person has used some sort of substance to help them get to that state of that sleep deprivation. But it's ever since I managed to stay awake for 6 days straight while I was vending my own music at a music festival. Like I had printed these mass orders ahead of time, ended up driving there. It's like already been awake for a couple of days just out of necessity. Then like had like employees fail on me where I had to like set up my own booth, run my own booth for like this entire week. Just a disaster. But by day 5.5, I was like running around like the Apu from The Simpsons, hummingbird style, like a crazy person with a tank of gasoline that I was legally, like they try to confiscate at the entrance to this festival, but since I was a vendor, still had, and was like trying to pour it on top of my tent to like burn it down in the middle of a forest because I was going crazy. Thankfully, a good friend found me and stopped me, and I got some rest and woke up a full day later, and everything was much better. But it was the fact that these things that are written in these religious texts of like the 7 days of creation and on each day, and that from my own experience and like that of other many people I know throughout the years, some on drugs, some not, some with mental, what were considered falsely called mental illness or conditions, but are in fact dimensional conscious connection minds, is that by the shadows will start to creep on you by like day 2 to day 3, and the wind, you start to hear the voices and they start talking to you, and by day 4 the shadows do talk to you without the wind, and so much more. But as Michael Boyd is about to talk briefly about how he's researched and done papers on all 3 of the Mayan Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and the Egyptian Book of the Dead here, that I will finally shut up and let play.
You get rid of those Christian things. And so essentially, that's all baggage that you carry with you. And sometimes people don't deal with their karmic delusions and they become a ghost. You follow?
Absolutely. I'm loving this. This resonates with the soul right here. I've got lots to say, but I'm biting my tongue until you are done, brother.
So this, so what I have here is I have shown like, on the left here, I show on the slide here, I show my work at Santa Barbara Research Center. And, I worked in an environmental test lab. And then in the late 90s, I worked at an equipment manufacturer that made hard disk equipment. And you can see below here is my some of my patents. And device and method to generate and capture gravita magnetic energy.
I've been reading that. Like you read it 3 times over to fully understand the amplitude of it. It is like I look forward to future talks that we are going to have after this presentation, my friend.
Cool. So I have this, I was looking, I was thinking about karmic delusions and all this
And we are taking a moment of silence for the trolls. And if you haven't seen Cambell's Spiral Up video specifically on the trolls, wow, is it powerful? You really have to check it out.
Word punishment stuff. And I found this award I got back in 1991. I got the best paper award for a paper. I was the co-author of it. It was before the National Institutes of Standards and Technology. And it's called The Effect of Dislocations on the Performance of Long-Wave Infrared Mercury Cadmium Telluride PV Detectors. And you'll see my name is the last one on the list of
Me Boyd.
And the funny part about this is back in those days,
He just said
when
it was a
PhDs
crazy
would make
mercury
their
capacitor thingy-mabobber.
papers for
I'm
publication.
going to have to
they
go
did
back
their
to that with
graphs
him.
and figures with pencils. And I actually bought a Macintosh. And so I knew how to make these like graphs and collect the data and make it into graphs. And so when the PhD saw that I knew how to do all this stuff, they all wanted me to work on their project. And so since I made the graphs for their papers, that's why you see my name on there.
Nice. I feel that.
So, but basically it comes back to karmic delusions. So now I want to talk about this intergenerational trauma. An example is abandonment. Now I'll start off with like we carry trauma. How this trauma we carry is a result of we learn from our parents how to deal with traumatic things. And we learn it when we're really young. Now, when I was 4.5, my mom took me to the New York World's Fair with my brothers and sisters. There were 5 of us. And I got lost at the World's Fair for like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, Cambell, you're going to like this part coming up.
I was an orphan. Now, the reason I would think I was an orphan was because my grandpa, Vernon Boyd, he was an orphan too. And so I'm going to show you this.
Your grandfather part of the orphan trains of that time?
I don't think so. I think he was probably offspring of a fair.
Understood.
So, but that's just my speculation. I don't know. So my grandpa was, he went to the North Pole 48 times and the South Pole 3 times with Admiral Byrd.
Holy shit, I didn't realize that. 48 times to the north and 3 to the south with Byrd?
Film about the United States Navy expedition codenamed Operation High Jump to explore Antarctica and to evaluate its potential for military operations in 1946 with Vernon Davis Boyd. My grandpa is shown here.
That is amazing.
The Admiral and the party ride weasels 12 miles south to visit his earliest camp, for the radio towers. Little America the First, now 40 feet under the snows of 17 years. And above it, Little America the Second, 25 feet under the snows fallen since 1935. Captain Boyd, United States Marine Corps, ties on a safety line. While Admiral Byrd and 3 veterans of his previous expeditions watch, Boyd inches his carcass down the old ventilating hatch. It stood 20 feet in the air when it was put up 12 years before. He pokes a stick up as a marker for the main hatch. Now all hands, the Admiral included, will have a chance to go look-see. Below, the old-timers find a lantern that lights at once, and all manner of other gear. For here in Antarctica, there is no decay, no rust, no dust, not even germs. Fruits, vegetables, meats, all good after 17 years. Small wonder Byrd preaches that one day Antarctica may be the world's storehouse to keep the 7-year surplus for the 7 lean years. Byrd, bringing with him the old corn cob he'd forgotten in 1930, comes up last. He meets heavy going, but he makes it the hard way and seems to like it.
So now let's talk a little bit about the trauma. This intergenerational trauma of abandonment. My grandpa, he was famous, I guess. But when he was off doing all this stuff with Byrd, he had abandoned my grandma.
No doubt the military traumas of that time.
And so,
And that's after the war too, to choose to go down there.
well, she was abandoned by him, and so my grandma couldn't take care of her 2 children, my dad and my aunt, and so she had to put my dad and my aunt into a orphanage for 8 years. And so, and I was researching for the, like I said, for this Bigelow Institute of Consciousness. I was studying my grandpa, and I came across this colonel who was being interviewed about Antarctica, and he mentioned my grandpa. And he said his name was V.D. Boyd, which he thought was interesting. And he said that he was the only officer he ever knew that owned a whorehouse in South America. So after we had our, the pandemic hit, me and my family started.
So I had to pause it right there, and just like the speculation though, like, so his grandfather was 43 missions to the North Pole and 3 missions to the South Pole, including Operation High Jump, all with Admiral Byrd. And if you didn't hear in that video, when one of the guys climbing out, the reporter specifically was like, and here's whatever his rank, Robert Boyd, I think it was, but it said Boyd's like name specifically there. Like for the topic of generational trauma or just trauma, if this man had also experienced, because he clearly 50 missions to both poles at that time, this has got to be Admiral Byrd's right hand man, I would assume. Like that's insane, that much, that then maybe this guy also would be on the know, or like be under pressure and stress and like the high life or the low life that comes with it, who knows, if was exposed to such sort of things as this inner Earth or the UFOs or the supposed Nazi base attack that happened towards Operation High Jump and the retreat. Like it would make sense in the psychological side of trauma and intergenerational trauma specifically, as well as would he maybe have was his life threatened, maybe put at risk? Is that why he abandoned? Not trying to make excuses, but a possibility too that, you know, people sometimes take these harsh decisions to completely abandon their children, offspring, or partners out of fear for their lives if they're being threatened themselves. Like apparently Admiral Byrd was put in after he tried speaking and warning and going public of this, was forever institutionalized into an insane asylum. And you know, so who knows, but it could be a rational chain of events that would explain this degenerative behavior, or maybe the guy was just a douchebag. Who knows?
Talking a lot on Zoom, because Zoom like connected a lot of people.
Very nice.
And so I asked my aunt, who's still alive, about this what this guy said was true about Grandpa, if she knew about Grandpa owning a whorehouse. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I knew about that, and that's why he wasn't allowed on the property. And he said, and your grandma had a gun, a shotgun. And so
The lay of the land back then."
Yeah, so basically he was persona non grata, but the point I'm trying to make is this trauma of abandonment. We can trace it all the way down to my grandpa and down to me. And so I carried that around for years, and I had to go through counseling and stuff. And I like basically blocked it out and didn't remember. And so it would like make me want to stay in relationships with people that weren't healthy because I was afraid of abandonment, of being alone. So now, once I learned that, then it's what's called unburdening. Okay. And we all have this. We all have this. We're all dealing with it. And so it's important to talk about it because, like I said, if you don't work out your trauma, it carries over. So now this earlier we had Marshall Rosenberg, and basically what nonviolent communication is, or compassion culture, is four basic things: observation, feeling, needs, and requests. And that's when you're talking about yourself, and when you're trying to be empathetic to other people, you know, like when you're trying.
I'm reading this. I like that. I like this a lot.
And then so basically we're all the same. We all have the same feelings and the same needs. And when we make mistakes, we can use the process of nonviolent communication, mourning, and self-forgiveness to show us where we can grow instead of getting caught up in moralistic self-judgment. All moralistic judgment, whether positive or negative, are tragic expressions of an unmet need. So that's what it's about: compassion. Not about being better or getting an award, or, you know, it's like people talk about, what's your IQ? It's a total construct. It's just something made up.
Exactly. It's being able to drop the ego and see from a higher consciousness perspective of how things affect other people and what they think of the situation, how they feel, or how you'd feel in that situation, and then finding middle ground and not acting an emotional trigger.
Yeah, it's finding truth together. So let's see. I like to put these little little it's a kid. It's a kid with another kid with a pencil, and he looks like he's ready to cry. And what it says is, when your dad shows up for career day and tells everyone he battles an ancient satanic cult of pedophile elites through memes. So now, can you guys see this? Okay, this is our
Yes, sir.
this is our
Absolutely.
UFO narrative from the context of dominance culture. On the left, we have a cartoon of the virgin, of what we call the virgin gray. And on the right, we have the reptilian, or what we call the Chad draconian. So let's start with the virgin gray. Worked with humans while still abducting them. Their relationships with humans broke down when President Jimmy Carter ordered to destroy their secret bases after constant abduction. Mixes the DNA of different species, brings the Ameri Mutt meme to its ultimate potential. Has to use mind control because it can't not even beat up human women and human children. Does not invade Earth, as the Chad draconians are in the way. Also, humans can nuke their spaceship. Completely genderless, has to rely on artificial wombs and other organisms, DNA, in order to reproduce and survive. We can help them with that. Allows humanity to become more technologically advanced, even though they view humans as test subjects.
Oh, are we working? What's going on? You there, Bernie? Burn. Oh, are we working? What's going on? Ah, Bernie? You there, Bernie? Hello? Burn. Oh, are we working? What's going on? Ah, Bernie? Oh, gosh, whoops. Hello? How do I stop this? Oh, here we go. There we go. All right, can you hear me? Sorry, Bernie, you ran away. All right, I'll have a chat. But we're having issues, I think. It may be Bernie's internet, but he's run away. So, yes, thank you to all the trolls. If you're wondering what's going on, we had a big troll at the event that we just ran for Taria Australia in Melbourne. But this troll tried to shut us down, like lost our first venue, which just basically found us a better venue and reduced us to people who basically stood up for us the second time that the troll went back and tried to, make us lose that venue. So we met cool people, got a better venue. They were asking to come back basically before the show was even over. So we made good connections. So yeah, so we're thanking the trolls, but thank you trolls for everything you do, because if it wasn't for the trolls, then how would we learn? How would they make us think, right? They give us things to break through. So, and we know what's going on, right? I mean, look at the MSN, everything they do to try and troll and gaslight just blows up and more people wake up. So thank you, trolls. We still have lost a BurnEye, Third Eye, Mind's Eye, the science guy without the bow tie, but I'm sure he'll be coming back. So, there we go. Hello, JP, Jace Ventura 2, Funny Mofo 88. Oh, 88. You're a human. And Carson, yes. So I hope you that explains the trolls. Kerry Ann, hello, how are you? Quantum time. Kerry Ann. Now, I've got your jacket. Have I got your jacket, Kerry Ann? Is that your jacket that I've got? That you brought me. I was in Melbourne after the event, and Melbourne is so cold. and I was sitting there with like a shirt and a jacket on, and I was shivering. So then Carrie Ann, everyone started putting jackets on me, but Carrie Ann ended up putting a leather jacket on me, and I wore it home. Who was that guy just
Michael
what was his name,
Boyd was
Bernie? The guy that,
Michael Boyd. Not sure what happened. I had stepped out for a moment and reloaded
it was like an
the video and saw that the video is no longer playing. But yeah, there's still about another hour left.
Welcome. B. Riley, hello. Welcome, Brianna. So yeah, we still have there's still a bit left. What are we doing? So we can play the rest of it. But it just froze. Jams, hello.
I had started using my cell phone's Wi-Fi, I think, is what cut it off. And so TikTok, I've had an account for about a week, and I already have 500 followers, and I posted like 7 different like 15-second like little videos around the alchemy lab, and they already got about probably 10,000 views on all of them. It's crazy. And for some reason I'm extremely popular in like oh man, it's the country that was just at war with Georgia. It like not Turkmenistan, but like
Turkmenistan. Oh my god, worse. Turkmenistan. What's TikTok doing to you?
Right?
Working like, in in an alchemy lab. Oh my god.
I'm working in Turkmenistan. And shout out to my actual Turkmenistan friend Malik, because he is a great individual and they are a very proud people. Uzbekistan, maybe? No, it wasn't Uzbek. I forget. It'll come to me.
Take that. Hello, Robert Streeter. How are you going? Natasha Strufa. Hello. Stella, Angela, baby Carson. Oh, hello. Everybody said hello to you. Stuart Rogers. Hello. Jared Hugh, who was being very funny before. Hello. And Richie. Uzbekistan. Who's Uzbekistan? I don't know. Who is Beck?
So another funny part of the shadow banning and censorship, because I believe you get monetized, or the option of monetization in Instagram when you reach 1,000, I think it is. And it's like Facebook or Meta owns Instagram. So I've been at 986 subscribers I was at for 2 weeks, despite getting like 13 to 15 new subscribers each day. And then it's like, I checked it one night and then it was like 77 new subscribers, and it went to 990. No, it was like 13 the one night. It finally went up to 996, and then it was like 77 new followers the next day, and it was down to 993. And I'm currently, it's been another week, and I've gotten probably like 15 to 20 new followers each day, and I think I'm at 997 still.
Come on, put your link in the chat. Everyone go and join Bernie's Instagram. I've actually, there you go, like, it must be on the same wavelength. I've actually put up my first short video. I actually made one a while ago, but I thought that they had to be 90 seconds, but apparently it had to be 60. So I figured that out. So I put one up. I think it's going to have 1,000 just on Facebook. Nice. YouTube. And I've made another one. So yeah, I'm thinking that I can just put them up on Instagram and like TikTok, right? I want to be a TikTok star too.
And I've also added a Twitch account that I don't know. I have to figure it out, because it's like I've preloaded some of the videos that I've uploaded, ones you recorded and edited for us like a year ago, because I've been uploading them again to my new channel on YouTube. But then I also did some to the Twitch, to the Twitter, and to my Facebook. And Facebook, I've done about 100 streams, including some of the Apex and like lots of our like original streams and stuff to my Facebook. And over the last 3 weeks, they removed about 90% of them. And I finally found out it was because it had a link to alienscientist.com in the descriptions, and that specifically violated their community standards. So then after removing that, I no longer put that, and I've been re-uploading to it, and I've been very careful about what I put in the description to not violate their different things. And still, each day I find that I have different videos removed from different groups, and it's hilarious. But we're getting there, and
How do I do,
we're beating
sorry,
censorship.
how do I do that? How do I unblock my friends list? Is that why I'm not getting any views at all on Facebook anymore? Did I block everyone for some reason? I have no idea. I can have a look and see if I can work it out.
Yeah, they also will
Did I
like
say-
they'll fuck with you and make it so that you're like delisted and you're shadow banned, like where you're posting everything where you think it's going public, and it just makes it private on you. And that's one of the AI shadow bans things they do.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I didn't do anything, so I hardly ever on there. But okay, I will check my things. And what did someone? Everyone's saying, what's the name of your channel, bro?
Okay, I think for
Bro.
TikTok and Instagram, as well as some other ones now, I'm going with BurnEye. Oops.
Please ask me. I've got an autodidactic page, or I don't even know. I'm so bad with Facebook, and I hardly ever get on there. Does anyone want to manage an autodidactic Facebook?
I will actually
I think
help
it's a
you with
page.
that. We're gonna figure it out together, Campbell, as we get this StreamYard set up, like going to the professional, so that it goes, because I have 2 accounts as well on Facebook, a friends one that's maxed out at 5,000 friends of different artists, DJs, and really good business people around the world, and then my clothing line one that I think's at about 2,000 followers now. But yeah, you have your 2, and then we also have the Twitters now, and then the Twitch, and that by the end of the month we should be able to be going live onto all of them for both yours and mine by the end of it through StreamYard.
Yes.
So
It's a good.
yeah.
We do not want to turn to twit faces with twitches.
Right? No.
You
I won't do the East Hastings reference. Unless you're from Vancouver, Western Canada, you don't get the reference of East Hastings and twitching in the face. Back to
treehouse.
so
I don't know what's going on.
this
Yes,
part of
okay,
Michael
let's
Boyd's
tell you the
presentation. It's a pretty good meme right here, right? You got the Virgin Gray. He thinks they're interdimensional time traveling. He actually gets into some videos of these supposed gray Area 51 videos coming up, but just this part, the Chad Draconian and the Virgin Gray, it's pretty good memes that he goes over and comes up with right here. It's pretty awesome. So it's both humorable, and later on there's some actual evidence to support or debate as well. So we shall continue. Amazing Michael Boyd.
Continue our journey. Hold soon. Enjoy.
Hopefully.
Oh. Maybe not. Maybe not. Do you know? Oh, it looked like that lizard man had a magic ball under his hand. Whee! Let's see. Oh, you have to press play, no doubt. Okay. You know, when I see the LeakProject, I always think about, when you're like driving a car and you're in the middle of nowhere and you really need to go to the toilet and you've got to find somewhere. Is that the LeakProject? Trying to find somewhere to have a live stream. Kill me.
Oh my goodness. So when you come to North America and we go visit the Grand Canyon together and meet up with Rex, when we take our little camper van or whatever we get across the country, we will have many live stream LeakProjects, indeed.
LeakProjects, exactly. I'm going to piss into the Grand Canyon because I don't want to take the piss out of it, right?
I am going to piss myself as we enter King Cad's cave and discover God knows what, but not actually myself. And Anywho, back to.
It's all right. We just take it. Don't you run in the shine.
DNA in order to reproduce and survive.
Bit more volume, I think. Oh, got nothing. Hello, Raina Lusted. How are you? Welcome. Okay. Technical difficulties. How does he know that that's a virgin? Oh, it's because its head's down. It looks like sad. Okay, I get it. That's how you know. That's how you tell the virgin greys. The Chad, the Chad Draconian. He looks a bit like a Chad, doesn't he? With his muscle shirt on.
Right? Twerking Chad. The working, twerking Chad. I love it.
Keep it up, Chad. It's twerking. Oh, are we going? No. Come on, sound. I can see you moving up in the corner there, but we've got no sound. Like it's playing. Is it on mute or something, or silent?
Oh, the sound stopped working?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to reload it again. Oops, sorry.
So, for your entertainment, Bernie will tell a joke while he also does the computer work. Hello, Jim Dillinger. He's back. Hey, Paul from Newcastle. I think it's the LeakProject.
Blood ritual,
Hey,
cannibalism,
dancing
and
Mr.
animal food. Looks like a walking dragon. View themselves as the master species. Is a lizard supremacist. Female draconians can lay multiple eggs. Has no problem with reproduction.
You can hear it?
Shapeshift to avoid direct contact. Behind pretty much every conspiracy theory, likely responsible for Judaism, the destruction of the Roman Empire, the New World Order, etc. More technologically advanced than the virgin grays. Never needs to invade most of the time, as they are experts at deception in disguise. Use humans as slaves. Interbreeds with humans, not because of experiments, but to help their reptilian agenda. Wants to take over Earth because they see it as their spiritual home because of the dinosaurs. Do not want to destroy Earth, unlike the virgin grays and some humans. These are my hypothesis, the time travelers from Earth's past. Now, this is a little experiment on feelings I'm doing, and I'm going to introduce this gray. The draconian.
Do you understand? So, well, no. Yes. When the war started.
He got a real pretty mouth, ain't he?
That's the truth.
So what did you
So
think of
he
my
plays more of that video, and it's quite a well-renowned
I
video
like
of that
this. I
gray.
like that.
and that wasn't a good
So
representation
now,
of it.
did you feel it was funny when you saw the end part?
Oh man, the memes and like how you went through that is pretty epic, my friend. I really did enjoy that. I just had myself muted so it wouldn't, like, the laughing wouldn't take the screen away from you while you're telling the story with it, because it was amazing, my friend. Amazing.
I want to give an opinion on it real quick. Let me say something about it real quick, because when I watched it, I've seen bits and pieces of that video before, and I've questioned whether or not, I'm like, okay, it's probably just it's a film. It's not real. But
It's pretty old, right? Like,
but if it is real,
for a while.
1964 purportedly is when it was recorded at Area 51 by the military, and the guy doing the interview was the Draconian. So basically, the Draconians are in control of the world government.
if it's
If you live
legit.
in Canada, your prime minister is a reptilian.
So I just thought, okay, so check it out. I thought to myself, if they're really doing this kind of stuff, that's fucked up. Pardon my language. But of course they're going to do that kind of stuff. If they captured an extraterrestrial human being, they think that he's going to be able to give them information. Of course they're going to do that. But it's wicked, man. I thought it was cruel.
Oh yeah, it is. It is totally cruel. It's
Right, like, and it seems like some pretty genuine like reactions when like that flash and stuff go off on it, like the animals, like
talking about scopolamine.
yeah, like,
is a drug.
it'd be interesting to
What
see, like, if we can do a internet wayback machine search or something of when that clip first appeared on the internet, and then it's like, if it's like at the very beginning of the internet, it pretty much proves that it's like from before the internet, essentially.
Well, I did a request to under the Freedom of Information Act to the military, and they denied they had any information. And I heard the name of some guy who supposedly created it, and I emailed him, never heard anything back. So I as far as I can tell, it's authentic. Okay, and so the burden of proof is on someone to show me it's not, because obviously the government's not going to tell me about it if it's from back in 1964. They haven't even.
I think it came out like right around the time of the fall of the Soviet Union, right? So it could have been a leaked copy that made it to the internet from there, or something like that.
All I know is Edward Snowden authenticated it.
Really?
Yeah, Edward Snowden authenticated that video. So
interesting.
So I think it's
regardless. I've got more questions of, like, it said you had secret clearance as well as I'm sorry, I guess, like, that you essentially probably never knew your grandfather then, hey? Or
I remember my grandfather when I was a little kid, and he would give me silver dollars, and he was my.
Okay, so he came back to, like, into the family later on, sort of thing, like,
well, not when my grandma was around.
yeah. Oh, no, for sure.
So in any case, yeah, I do remember him, and he was like a hero of mine when I was growing up, but I didn't know he was such a scumbag until much later in my life. So.
Did you ever get the chance, or do you know of any family stories that he could have, in regards to the so-called Admiral Byrd diaries of, like, the Hollow Earth or any of that? Like, did you know of any of him ever talking about anything like that, or of being repulsed in Operation High Jump, or any of that conspiracy stuff?
I never talked to him personally. I just got it secondhand from my older brother. But essentially,
are there any family legends essentially like that you told anybody, or no?
he
not,
was
not to your knowledge.
So what happened is when he married his second wife, his second wife threw him out about 2 weeks before he died. He had the lymphoma when he died. And so he was trying to get into the house that he built in Steamboat, Nevada. And eventually he went to Oakland, California, and his friends he was a lodge member, a Masonic lodge member, and his friends basically took him to the Veterans Hospital, where he passed away. And then after he died, the house sat vacant for many years, and supposedly he had found some red diamonds in Antarctica at some volcano there. And so he had hidden them, and my
that is absolutely fascinating.
So basically when he died, people came and started like digging in the yard and stuff in the house, and they went in, they like vandalized inside and were looking for, like pulling out the rafters and stuff, and basically looking for his so-called treasure. But they didn't go in the front yard, in the front porch, and there was like grass growing there. And there was this big dark dog that was like guarding it. And if anyone came, it would bark at him. So my older brother, it's like 1989, he went and he had an Instamatic camera, and he took some pictures of the dog. He took 2 pictures, and they're like the old Instamatic. And the dog disappeared after he took the pictures. And the pictures, when they were exposed, were of my grandpa. It's a ghost. And then after that, the ghost was gone. So, and me and my wife were traveling, and we both saw these pictures. So that's when I started thinking that, ghosts were real, a real phenomenon.
Can I just pause and interject my own personal story? Growing up in Calgary, Alberta, Coach Hill, I right next to the legendary the Hart family, the wrestlers, WWF wrestlers, if you ever knew them. But I was friends with several of the kids of like Owen, sisters and brothers and whatnot, like the nephews, as well as like in the actual mansion itself a lot. And like that place is so haunted because it was a former Springbank hospital before it turned into this Hart mansion with like this dungeon and stuff. Oh, wow. And then it's like Tanya Hart, like my best friend, one of Millie Hart's daughter, she told me like, be careful of like the one dresser mirror. And one time I was like walking in the middle of like the night, like leaving her place, like trying to like sneak out of down the like stairs and out the front without waking anybody, and like got a glance of that mirror and like damn near gave me a heart attack. Saw this thing in there. And sure enough, another one of my friends at a party there, he fell down the stairs that was right behind this mirror and like almost died. He was like injured. And then I talked to him. He's like, man, I saw that ghost. And like, just like, it's crazy. And then even my girlfriend, Amber, she's Métis. She does a lot of lucid dreaming and like is kind of like empathetic into that spiritual realmish. And I drove her by that place, and sure enough, we parked. Speak of the devil, she calls me as I mentioned her name. That's hilarious. So I had to pause it there because literally the synchronicities are hilarious that my lovely partner Amber called right as I mentioned her name in that earlier stream. But going back to the Hart Mansion, and like literally every time I just got the shiver again up my spine. Every time you remember the encounter of an entity, or those sort of memories, it sticks with you. It resonates in that soul, and that is probably the best example definition of epigenetics and memory, and that for all of the experiencers out there that what is real, what you've lived, and what you've experienced in your time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's the same feeling as the time I experienced and witnessed and lasered in Drumheller, Alberta, famous for the Royal Trail Museum of Dinosaur Bones in these Badlands that I also think have pyramid cities. But I experienced at 3:30 in the morning one time a flyover of a creature that seemed like a pterodactyl, a dragon, a flying massive phoenix thunderbird. I don't think it was that. I think it was the pterodactyl. And also the one time that I actually was part of and experienced the calling shriek of a real Sasquatch / Bigfoot Yetis, North America Rockies. They are Sasquatch. It was at a indigenous people's rodeo that I was invited to. Boulders started falling down the one side that had a cliff around. At night when the rodeo was over, it was just the fire. I thought it was the natives playing a prank on Whitey and a couple of my white friends that were invited there, until you saw the fear and the concern and the women picking up, rushing to grab their children, and everyone taking cover. And so once again, Amber calls right after I talked to her, but before the first time, it was literally within a second, and I'm going to shut up and put it back to the video and answer this call. Drive her by, and sure enough, like the place has been abandoned. It's the middle of winter. There's like no tracks up to this place. Like the snow isn't broken, and it's like all of a sudden the TV turns on and like and it's like, oh, okay. And yeah, we drove away and have not been.
Was it just like was it just like the TV screen like in Poltergeist?
We were like parked like over a block away, like the property so big, like sort of thing, like couldn't see what was on it, but just like turned on. Oh man. And like we swear we saw like a figure just like appear, and yeah, it's so that's my own personal story on that. We'll let you and Jim the Nightheart, Anvil, and Smith Hart, if either of you ever see this, I love you all. Same with Tanya Hart. They are great, absolutely great people. Brett Owen, rest in peace, as well as the other.
So, well, the thing is, what I learned is that in my research is that the
Amber says hi.
The
She's
feelings
like,
that you feel in your heart,
yeah,
that's what carries over to the other side. It's the feelings that you feel in your head. That's the stuff. That's the karmic delusions, as I call them. So, and that's basically, and I don't want to give away all the whole thing, but basically. You'll see in the next few slides where I'm going with this, with the compassion culture.
Sorry, please do continue, Mike. I'm going to shut the hell up and call the lovely Amber back because she is probably on her break at work telling me when I need to get her. So we are listening, and thank you.
This slide is what I'm showing is an example of a UFO here that's going out into space. And this is, so when you're going into the medium of emptiness, this is expanded space-time. In expanded space-time, time goes faster and your length gets longer. So as you go away from the matter, that's what's happening. And so here's an example of this. And so my hypothesis is this is the gray is a time traveler from the future. So now here's the gray on, this is the gray on morality and the meaning of life. This is where he's talking about really compassion.
Okay, one last thing. What about morality? What do you think is your moral feel? Okay, don't let me name it. Well, what happens when we die? Okay, so we're gonna strike. There's no death, and we all expect each other's lives, right?
So let's think about that for a minute. If we're all the same life, then and death is a human construct.
I forgot about this and how truly deep the answer is, right? It's like, and the video quality that we're seeing like does not give this justice. Like there's way better original out there, I believe, than what Zoom is presenting for us, just for reference, because it's like, it's some power, regardless of, like, it's just so powerful. It feels real, you know. Like,
Well, I assume it's real, like I said. But the thing is, if we're all the same life, then that would suggest that when we're asleep, we're connected. When we're dreaming, we're connected. It's only when we're awake that we're judging, you know, we're basically experiencing ourselves subjectively. So if we're all the same life, compassion comes easy, if you think about it. It's just natural, and it doesn't just carry, it's interspecies too. I mean, if you have a pet,
exactly. Like half the time my dog eats better than I do, right? Like it's like as good as I do half the meal each time.
Naturally you're giving. You want to give. And it's something you learned as a little kid. Like I said, it's only through education that we learn to be violent. So now let's talk about the Chad Draconians and time travel to the past. Now I found these, there's this Jaime Maussan. He's a journalist from Mexico, and he's got all these videos that he's collected and covered over time of different phenomena. But he has several of the where the UAP is going into the volcano. This is the volcano in central Mexico. The video is from 2013. So the hypothesis is again that these UAPs are reptilian friends.
And this reporter, I've seen some of these works. That's like there's not just this one. There's like multiples of them that he's got over the years, right? Like I think there's like almost hundreds now, probably, of that exact same thing going on.
I like this one because it was close to sunset. There was still you could still see color. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, good call.
So yeah, but it shows the basically the principle of what's going on. So now I have this little video that talks about the
I
reptilian.
love the emerald tree boa. I almost owned one once. I bought it at a pet store I worked at, and I was like raising it for 3 weeks there. The day before I was taking it home, someone stole it. Broke my heart. Such beautiful snake. Sorry, last time I interrupted.
Okay.
Reptilians are supposed reptilian humanoids.
And that was a lie, because it is definitely not the last time I will ever interrupt, and I interrupt all the time. Sorry for what I do. Hi, Cambell. I see that you are back too. And yeah, these emerald tree boas, like it was a baby. It was still bright neon blue, this little guy. And I held it probably, I'd say 8 times. It was like 3 or 4 times a week for those 3 weeks that I was working each time. And it never bit me. It never even struck at me once. And every other person that worked there that never tried to put their hand even into the cage, it like bit into. And these emerald tree boas, they actually have 2 rows of fangs in their mouths. And they're extremely vicious sometimes, but also the thing was like so intelligent and awesome and loyal to me. And when they're babies for the first year or 2, they come in neon blue, neon yellow, neon orange, neon red colors. And then when they turn into adults, that I think it's like 80%, 90% turn into this neon green, or the rest 15, 20% into the neon yellow.
Nice.
And yeah, I was a
My
reptile manager at a pet store, Petland chain in Calgary, Alberta, for a couple years. Started while I was in high school, and then advanced for I think 3 or 4 years after high school into it. Anyways, I also had a zoo in my basement at one time. I had, I think, something like 30 amphibians, like axolotl salamanders, frogs. I had a Solomon Island giant skink. Actually, I had 2 of them. They're from the Solomon Islands. They're one of the only reptiles that both give live birth as well as have prehensile tails and are completely vegetarian. I also have had garter snakes, 10 arachnid, different types of tarantulas, one of those tailless whip scorpions, a couple of other scorpions, like a giant brackish half saltwater tank full of like puffers, as well as scats, the archers that like shoot water, and all sorts of crazy stuff. And that's not even the half. So
I've had a cat and a black, a grey cat, and a dog, and a golden retriever dog, and a black dog, and chickens. And actually, at one point we had
chickens, a dog, and a cat.
So there you go. I'm very boring, but I love animals.
Right? You can tell because you have all the essentials. And it's like, come on, Crocodile Dundee / the Crocodile Hunter Australia lands here, right? So it's that you at least have the essentials down. The cats, the dogs, have the birds or the chickens, like being able to take care of, like get your own eggs, stuff like that.
I met this dude and he had a pet wolf spider, so I let it climb up my arm. That was very interesting, and almost stepped on a brown snake. That was very interesting. It was huge, and they're like one of the most deadly snakes in the world.
Poisonous? It's poisonous?
King Brown. Yeah, King Brown's there. I think they're like number 3 or something. Yeah. It was curled up in the sun up in Cairns, like walking through a cane field, and literally put my foot out and was sort of going out and just looked down and sort of had to stop and go back in like reverse motion. And it didn't luckily it didn't budge, so I just sort of and just turned around and went, fuck.
That's good karma mixed with, like a higher self or angel looking out. And as a like young teen, like probably 12 or something. I was in Montana, and I had a similar experience with a rattlesnake in like the Montana U.S. family reunion area that I almost stepped on one. And then it's like it scurried over and started doing like the rattling all crazy. I was like, oh my God. And like I had like ran off with a couple of cousins like exploring, like because I was just like this little nature kid myself. And we were probably like a couple good miles, like few kilometers away from like where the family camps and stuff where it would have been bad. But none those you survived. But I guess I was a kid, smaller body. But what brown king like that, those like that, doesn't that kill you within like half hour or something like that, or irreversible damage, stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and it's like a neurotoxin, sort of a poison, so it sort of stuffs you up. And Jim Dillinger says the number one killer animal in Australia is the horse. And another fun fact is the horse is the most farted upon animal. So there you go. It's probably just getting revenge, you see.
Very guilty of that.
You know. Fair enough. No, horses have rights too.
They do.
How are we going to keep BurnEye? Oh, what's happening? Is your channel still okay? His old channel got taken down, Daniel. You know that, don't you? You're on the new one, I think.
Yeah, so once again, I will post the link to my new channel in the chat right now for everybody. Please do make your way over and subscribe, as starting all over again for the third time in one single year. So, yeah, I'm kind of just waiting to get 100 subscribers so I can back it up to Odyssey. And strange enough, one day before they took down Crypto Alchemist, I tried to integrate it to Odyssey. It said it worked, then it said it didn't work, and then it's like retry, didn't work. And then it's like I went to sleep, I woke up, and I got the notification that Crypto Alchemist had been deleted. And it's just like, oh my God, like what the WF? And apparently now you need 100 subscribers on YouTube to like get into the new Odyssey account or something like that, to get the qualify to back up. So please help me get to that 100. And then from that point, I'm going to include it in my petition to YouTube, being like, here's my third channel. Like, why have you taken down my second? Why haven't you responded to me about my first one? Like, here, check out my playlist section that literally has 100 different links to other videos of mine on YouTube of other channels that actually accumulate to over 1 million views. Like, what the WTF? And here's my new channel. Can I at least have some guidance to not be deleted like this third time? Like, and give me back my channels, you crooks?
Like, when did you get deleted? What?
Like exactly a week ago.
When did this happen?
Like, remember when I emailed you talking about like, yay, I think I got or did they say I just got deleted again?
Yeah, I think I saw that before I left. Yeah. And then they took it down. Yeah, right, gosh. And what was the reason? Any reason, or?
Somehow violated community standards. That's it.
All right. Well.
All right. Ridiculous. So back to the video. Sorry. And Amber does say hi. Does you all? So I got 1 hour left. I think there's about 1 hour of this video left, and then Amber, it'll be 4 a.m. and she'll just be getting off of work because, well, it was Canada Day and she just got a promotion of head bartender. But you know, they stopped serving at 2, and it was a shit show of a night, being one of Canada's drunkest nights of the year with fireworks and all. So back to the show of the UFO.
Alrighty. Oh, well, that rhymed.
Which play a prominent role in fantasy, science fiction, ufology, and conspiracy theories. The idea of reptilians was popularized by...
I have all the respect for David. I can't wait till you do another interview with him. If you get it in the works, can I submit some questions for you to ask him, good sir?
Icky has stated on multiple occasions that many world leaders are, or are possessed by, so-called reptilians. Michael Barkin, professor of political science at Syracuse University, posits that the idea of a reptilian conspiracy originated in the fiction of Conan the Barbarian creator Robert E. Howard. The first appearance of serpent men in literature was in Howard's story The Shadow Kingdom, published in Weird Tales in August 1929. This story drew on theosophical ideas of the lost worlds of Atlantis and Lemuria, particularly Helena Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine, written in 1888, with its reference to dragon men who once had a mighty civilization on a Lemurian continent. Howard's serpent men were described as humanoids who were able to imitate humans at will, and who lived in underground passages and used their shapachinjing and mind control abilities to infiltrate humanity. Thank you for watching.
That's it.
Oh,
That was awesome.
wow.
That was awesome.
Check out my meme, my last meme here.
He says that was it, but then there's like 500 more. Yet another South Park. See, South Park's done it all. It's also a South Park episode, same sort of thing. Well, I guess that was the ectoplasm. This is different. This is good. This is good. I like that. Rex, you back?
Okay, so that's it.
So many questions. Where to begin? It's so not it, and he still has like another presentation or two. It's hilarious. Research, I guess. What can you describe about that? We haven't even gotten into the TicTac videos yet. Oh my God, Cambell, they're amazing.
Yeah, all that infrared stuff that I worked on back in that time was all secret.
Infrared.
So it's but you see, that's why I write papers and get them published, is because then it's not a secret.
Right? Just open disclosure.
I have in my papers I can talk about, like with my patents. That's why I get patents, not so much because I think I'm gonna get boodles of money in royalties. It's so that I can talk about it and not worry.
Very good reference, and absolutely
the secret sauce, right? You know.
So,
and I'm not a PhD or anything. I just do this for fun.
For sure.
The
secret sauce. And just through career, right? It's like things fascinate that you want to understand. That's just the mind of a scientist. You look into things and you explore, you do it, you solve it, you engineer it.
Well, and it's okay to not agree. I feel like failure is not an option. It's a learning experience. It's like you gotta fail to get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
you have to learn from experience.
Like making toast in the morning, right? When you first toast, you always burn it, right?
Yeah, you gotta have that certain thickness, or it's dark. Burnt.
So I'm glad I was worried that it was going to take too long. So it looks like I got it for like an hour, huh?
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh my God, this is only the halfway mark.
Oh my God, what was just question I just had about that we were just talking about?
We may have to do a part two. Oh,
secret sauce. Infrared.
Yeah, infrared.
What are your thoughts about being able to see?
If you have to go, I can let it play out, but it's that I gotta
these different light waves, and specifically if you've heard of like the Cliff High claim, as well as others talk about that infrared, the military was seeing demon entities, and that's why they had to switch it to green to no longer be able to see that realm. And then also of CERN.
Sorry, I paused it there because there's some very fascinating stuff that I bring up right in this next part here. Cambell, if you have to go, I can keep it going, but it's that I gotta keep play this next hour because it gets deleted off of his website. Well, not deleted, just removed off the front page, and then goes back into like the membership area sort of thing as soon as the next person uploads on there.
Okay, no, I thought that you had to go in 45 minutes. That's cool.
Oh yeah, since it's StreamYard, I can even end it from my phone while I'm driving or parking. Like that's why I love StreamYard so much. They're so convenient.
Let us keep going then.
All righty. Sorry. Once again, that's why I was like, it's not the last time I will interrupt and pause. But yeah, so right here I bring up, because Michael Boyd has worked on classified research in regards to infrared technology, I bring up the different demon stories of this infrared in the military and stuff like that. We talk a little bit about it, and then the next segment is him going in depth on the actual Pentagon UFO TicTac videos and the plasma orbs and all of that with his science partner. And it is epic as hell, and I promise you all want to see it, because not once do these physicists mention a ball, and it has nothing to do with gravity or space. It's all on terra firma, and it's all video caught on this realm and real and documented by the Pentagon itself. So let's hear what the scientists have to say.
And Benny, I don't know, was that the live? I saw a bit of one of his live, but only the end of it. But anyway, let us get back into it, so we're not here at midnight.
Video images of certain like plasmas and entities coming out of these things. Do you have any opinions on those?
Well, I think there's a lot of the what we call UAPs are natural. They're not artificial. Like the TicTac, I think, was artificial.
Yeah, right. Because I specifically asked Kevin Day when he was on APEC that day if he felt it was like a plasma orb, like ball lightning, or if it was like a constructed craft. And he specifically said he felt or like knew that it was a entity of a craft and a technology operated by a consciousnness, as opposed to just being a plasma orb or bubble or a natural phenomenon of any sort.
So I got this this other presentation. Let me see here. If you want, I'll go ahead and share that.
Yes, please do.
Here we go.
Sound is working good, Campbell?
Well,
okay, so
it
here,
is.
can you see this? The TicTac space-time metric engineering general relativity effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now what's going on here? We're looking at.
Sorry, I had to pause it one more time. In the middle top right corner of the overall video, these videos play, keep an eye out for a giant vortex, and then also some other smaller vortexes throughout the videos. It's something crucial that Mike Boyd is about to go into and show and document and start tying in scientifically. But it's that these are the first time I've seen anybody reference or show or make note of these massive vortices and vortexes forming around in these UAP UFO videos.
At the TicTac, and you see these like little bubble regions. Now this is artificial. Obviously, it's creating something in space-time, and so like I break it down here with this where I make these little bubbles, and you see the lighter stuff on the right. That's where you're creating denser space-time, like where the UFO UAP is heading into the volcano. That's the denser space-time. Above it, the dark region, the balloon above it, that's expanded space-time. That's the anti-gravitational field. And then
Gotcha.
over on the left here is these dark regions. That's expanded space-time too, and that's where our wormhole is open. Okay, and then that, if you look at that, the dark torus there's a torus in that balloon above the UAP, and it's spinning counterclockwise. And then if you look down on the right, the lower right, you'll see this yellow balloon feature here. That's where it's like interacting both the expanded and the expanded and the contracted space-time together. And there's a little spinning torus to the left of that. That dark region is also spinning, but it's spinning clockwise for some reason. Now I'm going to show the warp. And you see how it goes over to the left there, and it stretches out, and that's because in expanded space-time, the length gets longer, but the time gets shorter. On the right side, the opposite is going on. And what's going on here is, if you imagine that the TicTac is the arrow, and the region on the right is like a bow, in the bow and arrow. And when it lets go, blam, it takes off.
Man, this is so fascinating, and you've hit a part in my brain of this footage I've got myself of some of my electrolysis experiments, and this one form of bubble that comes up, and it on high quality recording, or milliframes per second, I guess it is. It catches it, and it doesn't pop. It actually just shoots up. Like when it bursts out of the water, it just shoots up, and it looks almost identical to how you're pointing this out, and just.
Okay, so now what I have here is this frames from the TicTac where it looks like the TicTac is hitting the aircraft with a pulse, and when you see that crosshatch pattern when it brightens, you see a crosshatch. That's the readout on the back side of the detector array. So it's heating up behind the sensors, not in front of it. That's why you can see that crosshatch pattern. And I know about that because I used to make these things. So some made that TicTac feel uncomfortable.
Well, didn't they send out the fighter to record it right then?
So now I'm going to talk a little bit about coronal mass ejections and solar flares, because in a solar flare, the photons of electromagnetism reach the Earth in 7 minutes. In the coronal mass ejection, a wave of protons follows, showering the Earth in a relativistic speed proton flux 3 days later. It takes 3 days to get to us. That's because the gravity travels slower than the speed of light.
Gotcha.
So now
that's something that always perplexed my mind.
So one of the things that they found is that a day before one of these solar flares and CMEs happen, the radioactive decay rate changes on the opposite side of the Earth from the sun a day before. Now it's weird. It's the future pushing back.
Yeah.
So now that's what this is about.
Thunderbolts Project at thunderbolts.info. For many years, a scientific controversy has been brewing far from the spotlight of mainstream media. How constant are physical constants? For decades, the scientific consensus has been that true constants, such as the speed of light and the gravitational force, remain unchanged over time. But in recent years, more and more evidence has challenged this assumption. A telling example is now posed by observed changes in supposedly constant radioactive decay rates in relation to solar flares.
In 1904, Ernest Rutherford wrote the book, Literally, on radioactive decay. In this book, he states, in no uncertain terms, the constancy of the rates of radioactive decay. This allegation was initially shown to be consistent with experiment, and so was generally accepted. Not to be annual and monthly cycles weren't enough. Nature had yet another surprise in store for a pair of Purdue researchers. While searching for new methods of random number generation via nuclear decay, Jenkins and Fishback recorded 3 drops in manganese 54 counts of about 0.1%, corresponding with the 3 December 2006 solar flares.
One of the effects that was discovered was on the night side of the Earth, the radioactive decay decreased roughly a day before a flare appeared on the sun. And this effect was noted a number of times. So it was reproducible. The question then was, how do we get an effect happening on the other side of the Earth, on the night side of the Earth, away from the sun, being registered through the Earth?
The Purdue researchers who discovered this correlation initially tried to avoid speculating about this problem and published just the correlation, but their submission was rejected on the grounds that there was no known mechanism for radioactive decay counts to decrease in anticipation of a solar flare. Being forced to come up with a mechanism, they were later able to publish a paper where they suggest that a massive increase in solar neutrino production prior to the flare is responsible for the decreased counts. The reasoning is that the neutrino weakly interacts, and beta decay is via the weak force. Unfortunately for that theory, it was already established in 1998 that variation is present in substances which alpha decay, which is via the strong force. Neutrinos can't be the effector. So are there better explanations to be had in an electric universe?
The point is that all matter is connected in the universe. All of this suggests that it is much simpler than the neutrinos. It is this direct connection between all matter in the universe. And if quantum theory is telling us anything at all, it's telling us that it's due to resonant effects in matter, so that the atoms that are disturbed on the sun leading up to a solar flare, that disturbance, that change in the resonance of those atoms is available to radioactive atoms on Earth. In other words, this direct connection can invoke a change in decay rate.
That's pretty cool.
I do love the Thunderbolts project and everything they've been doing, and then especially the Sapphire project through the Electric Universe guys and the cold fusion work.
They're awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about these 4 UAP videos that were recently authenticated by the government. And so what I have here is the Apache UAP video, and there's 3 UAPs in it. And if you look at the far field image, you'll see, if you notice, the little circle on the left is where the UAPs are approximately located. And
yeah, I hadn't even know this existed. Thank you, like, for bringing these up, man. Like, this is awesome, even more. Now, and this is from helicopters from the Apaches, 3 in 1.
And so this has, but what most folks missed is there's a tornado shaped thing over to the above and right of the thing. So I did this report with this other guy, Steve Leah, and basically we said that, yeah, it's these aerial phenomenon. These UAPs appear as warm spots on the IR imager. They appear flying in formation, breaking formation, flying in loops, colliding with each other, defying all known capabilities of any craft we know. But we think it's natural, and you'll see why. So here's the far field. You'll see, look for that vortex. You see it there?
Yeah, spinning. Whoa. That's pretty huge. That's a big anomaly.
Yeah, well, that's space-time metric engineering right there. But it's natural. Okay, so
that is absolutely fascinating discovery, Mr. Boyd.
So now here's some close-ups. You gotta look closely of the 3 UAPs. They're basically 3 vortices that are intersecting. You can't really see, they're hard to resolve, but you can see them there.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Okay, so now what we did is we took those little the little dots and we looked at them close up. What we did is we inverted the image, you know, like a negative, and then we cropped out the regions around the circle. Now you can see the little vortices there. And
yeah. Wow. I always knew spinning has something to do with this higher dimensional gravity flux.
So now you see we got it slowed down to one frame per second. And you can, if you look at the little circles there, you'll see they have like structure inside them.
Yeah, they look like little ball bearings within each other, little tornado, hurricane ball bearing things.
Little vertice of the thing, you know, where the little tornado vertice is.
Yeah.
But you can see they disappear too sometimes, like that one, they're gone because that's not like something that's artificial. I think that's natural.
Yeah, just the toroidal shape and spin of the universe. And
well, no, we were talking before about the CME, how it made a day before you could
the future. Yeah.
It was like, okay, so on this one, it was November 6th when we saw the 3 UAPs. On November 7th, the CME occurred. And I found that out by looking at the spaceweather.com and putting that date in there. You see that there?
That's pretty interesting. I wonder if
a large hole in the sun's atmosphere is turning to face Earth, and it's spewing a stream of solar wind towards our planet. That's what the headline was. So, I mean, this is obviously something natural.
Or could be utilized from it too, right? Have you seen Nassim Haramine's like research with the black hole within the star and how it interacts with the Schwarzschild proton thesis, and basically that the sun has a black hole in the center of it that some UFOs come in and out of?
Oh, well, well, I think there's one in the center of our Earth too.
Yeah, his Schwarzschild proton thesis also states that there is one inside of the center of the Earth.
I don't know about Schwarzschild, but I know that it's all protons. Protons are what power everything. So
yeah.
So now I'm going to talk about this A10 Warthog FLIR. It's one UAP. You see in this image, it's black, and then Now, I had problems with this video before, so let me know if I lose you when I open this up, okay? This is the actual original video, so can you see my
Yeah, I can see it clearly right now.
okay. I'm opening the video. You see the blue screen?
No blue screen, still the A10 Warthog flare.
Oh, yeah, no. So you're not seeing the, so I gotta stop share. Then I gotta reshare.
It's all about sharing. Sharing is caring.
Where is it?
Bottom screen, share screen. Middle of the.
Where is it?
Are you looking for your video?
Yeah, I think I got it right there. Okay, here we go.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, here we go. So there's the UAP.
Yeah, so that one looks more like what might be called a Foo Fighter from like World War II times, essentially. Hey, less of a TicTac.
Yeah, well, it's again, this is a natural thing. You'll see. This is you can see it's poor quality.
It's showing up on infrared though.
Yeah.
No, this isn't infrared. Is this infrared?
Yeah, this is in infrared. So now it just went white hot from black hot. It's just they changed the image from white hot to white hot from black hot.
Sorry, just paused it for a second there. What's fascinating about this and why it's lower quality resolution, this is us being filmed from the second Warthog, A-10 Warthog military plane. They're like, I think built in like the 80s and like they don't have as upgrade, and they're ground attack planes, so they don't have nearly as upgraded like air radar and imaging and stuff like that, right? And it's another point I want to bring up is that I met Michael Boyd through the APEC anti-gravity propulsion engineering conferences that we've done some streams with here as well in the past. And one of the episodes, Tim Ventura was able to get Kevin Day on, and Kevin Day is the original Navy officer radar recorder of the Nimitz TicTac's, and that I spoke to him directly in APEC and was able to ask him directly, and he stated that his experience was that these were the TicTac's were definitely technological built crafts operated by intelligent non-terrestrial like being intelligence of some sort. And like my personal experience, like talking to him and seeing his body language and his answers to it, that he genuinely like was a changed individual from these experiences, and seems to think that there's going to be more of them coming forward in the future, and it's for the positive, and that it was a very, very positive experience of his. Just in respect to the encounters and it then going public and how it changed his life since then. And I highly recommend both checking out the APEC Kevin Day interview as well as looking into Kevin Day himself, his stories of the Nimitz encounters, the recordings and all of it, because it's what started these Pentagon UFO disclosures of these different recordings. And these ones I believe are from 2018 that we're watching, and they're from Apache helicopters as well as these A-10 Warthogs, where the Nimitz was encountered by Kevin Day was on the Nimitz aircraft carrier main radar, which is like one of the highest tech like scanning systems, imaging systems, arrays like built and known to man, and was operating it during these encounters. And then also on the radio directly with the I think it was F-18s or F-16s that were up in the air that then were got the tracking and the high def locks and videos of those original TicTac videos that were released and verified by the Pentagon from the Navy, and that it was multiple ships recording it and multiple pilots engaging it and all of that. And that since then, these are other what seem, and especially Michael Boyd believes, are completely different sorts of entities, or like one of them, it almost resembles like a ghost or a spirit, and these just different recordings of these actual unidentified objects of hyperdimensional characteristics, physics, and existence that are now documented by the military and verified that yes, this is real. These are things that have been caught, and that we ourselves experienced, and like, what is this all? So let's try to make sense of it. And I love that it was the Virgin time traveling gray and the Chad draconian transvestite bully reptilian Republican, whatever it was, just because anywho, once again, I gotta take the call, so I'll play. I'll let you talk.
And just to everyone watching as well, just remember, like, the information they're giving is just the information, even though they may have a different concept of the shape of the realm or what exactly the sun is. It's the information is in what they're talking about, the effects of what's going on here, and where these, and he's saying, these things aren't coming from balls a billion light years away, right? So remember to be autodidactic, right? We can't judge things as right or wrong. They just have to be interesting. So there we go, my little spiel. Okay. Here we go. Are we up? Do you want me to do the Is that a good sound effect?
Video.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it's just jumping all over the place.
Oh my God, they're onto us. That's they.
What sort of aircraft is this recorded from? Is it drone, Apache, or Warthog, or something else on this one?
It's the A-10 Warthog.
It is the A-10 Warthog.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop it because
that's why such crappy quality, because it's an older ground attack aircraft.
There's an explanation. Okay, so we're going to stop. Okay, now let's go back to the PowerPoint. Where are we? Right there. Okay, so now we'll go to the next slide. Okay. Why isn't it advancing? Oh,
there we go.
Okay, so what we found is that the UAP is another spinning vortex moving in loops that cause the UAP to exhibit enormous acceleration. What we observed, we suggest is a naturally occurring phenomenon. A magnetic plasma vortex that's formed when a crack opened up in the Earth's magnetic field associated with
Mike, I'm sorry. I'm going to be watching on my phone, but I have to run outside because it is Canada Day right now, and I hear the fireworks going off. So I just want to take a quick look. So I will be watching and keep going, and I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okie dokie.
And happy Independence Day. On that note, I'm going to pause it quickly. When's Australia Day? Is it in July too, or no?
No, January.
See, exact opposite.
There is in summer. Yeah. No one would go if it was in winter. Gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna. So I have to go pick up Amber now. I'm gonna leave it running on my computer, but I'll also be having it on my phone. And if it stops playing for some reason, then we'll have to end it. Otherwise, it'll continue for another half hour, and we will end it when I get to her work.
All right, record the fireworks, and we can finish with a bang and a flash.
I wish they happened 4 hours ago, and I missed them because I was doing the stream. And now we're restreaming, and I will continue. And bless to all of you. I hope everyone is having a good holiday weekend or just good time wherever they are, wherever you are tuning in from and watching.
All right. Let's get back to it. Safe travels, BurnEye, and we shall talk to you soon. Let's get into the last half hour. Thank you, everyone, for being in chat, for joining us.
Burn, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Just pause for a couple minutes, and then I can come back because I'd like to go get something to drink.
Yeah. Actually, Kay, I can make a note, and I'll play a little clip here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Smoke break and then come back.
That would be wonderful because I was only planning on an hour, and luckily my wife's out hanging with one of her buddies. But
perfect. Okay, we'll do a 5-minute break here, and then we'll do another half hour and finish.
Yeah, and then it'll probably only be 15 minutes because we've already covered pretty much 2 of the videos, and there's 2 more to go.
My friend.
Duck and the Witch. And then what's cool about these 2 UAPs is they're cold on the IR.
Yeah, that's completely different.
What's going on there?
What's up?
So okay, I'll see you in 5, Burn.
Yeah, sounds good. So
I guess I can skip it ahead this 5 minutes here. Sorry.
And all those frequencies can be used to trigger people to feel
Science of Sound. Next episode coming up in a week or 2.
Open to conspiracy and to interpretation on how people use those frequencies to really put people at a state of vulnerability, because music's very powerful in that kind of way that can shape even the most strongest of minds.
Yeah, it's subliminal. And also it's the way I see it too is it's been used all throughout history. If it even goes back to the biblical times, when they crumbled the walls of Jericho, they used a certain
and Cambell, you can put up comments and change the screen around and all of that and stuff in the meantime
right?
too,
and
right?
We're doing it again today. We're coming up with ultrasonic weapons.
Oh, I can do that.
Vibrations is important. It's what makes people feel a certain way. It's what makes people, it could be used as a, they have specific things that can alter your mood based upon frequency. So, I mean, it's good to understand different aspects of sound, the very thing that everybody seems to be comfortable with when they hear something called music.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You don't be out of tune.
Think about that. Sound. Like Pac-Man.
showed that disclosed that his grandfather was quite the celebrity and was featured. Even the reporter listed him off by name, that his grandfather Boyd was going down that Antarctic tunnel next to Admiral Byrd. And that's, I could only imagine, essentially, that Mr. Boyd, you have the best chance within your family of confirming or denying the rumors of the Admiral Byrd Hollow Earth journey and diary. And do you mind speculating on that at all?
Well, if my hypothesis about the reptilian overlords is correct, then it would make sense that a volcano located in Antarctica, where my grandpa got them so-called red diamonds, that would be a time portal to the past, and that the rumored reptilians that are there that supposedly worked with the Nazis, right? That certainly there could be a underground facility there. Whether the Earth is hollow or the moon is hollow, since it rings like a bell. I don't know. But in experimental physics, there are no outliers. That means you got to consider all the data, even the crazy stuff. Right?
What's hilarious is literally I just started reading the question board. I asked for the live viewers the questions, and you covered, do you believe reptilians are real? So basically, yes, if they are, they'd be down there, you just said. Or what is running the world govs, and how advanced, oh, this one, is our own UFO tech?
Well, I don't know. The thing is I don't think there's extraterrestrials. I think they're transdimensional. They're Earthlings. They're all Earthlings. And since IQ and race and gender, those are all constructs.
Because it's like especially in the ancient cultures and societies, and if you read the Book of Tibet and Dead of Egypt and the Mayan stuff, and like their legends is like Thoth and these like half human, half Egyptian figures and stuff like that.
They took the image of a bird. Angels have feathers, right? If you've got a pet parakeet, that's a dinosaur.
I actually had 2 Red Lord Amazon growing up. Sadly, they both passed. My parents had them before me. They lived into their almost 50s, but I had them for most of up just until a couple years ago. But the parrots are phenomenal, amazing, definite dinosaurs of animals, and that
too.
I still have a red-eared slider turtle. I have Tyson the turtle.
A turtle is a reptile, but it's cold-blooded. It's not warm-blooded.
So birds are warm-blooded, aren't they?
Yeah, birds are warm-blooded. That's what dinosaurs were. Dinosaurs were warm-blooded. They move fast. Okay.
Dinosaurs were warm-blooded. I don't think I've ever heard that. That would make a lot more sense, though. As are birds.
Would it be okay if I finish up my little presentation? Because
of course, absolutely, Mike.
A short time window, because the natives are getting restless. I told them that they were going to have TV dinners, and they are
fair enough,
feeling dissatisfied with that. So I need to whip up something for my family, because it's almost 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, of course.
Okay. So
say hello to the little ones, and thank you for letting Dad spend
they're
the time.
not little, they're big. Okay, here we go. So we're talking about the A10 and how basically it's a spinning vortex thing again. So now, I got to start the slideshow. So now you'll notice I have the white. When it's white hot, and you'll see this little WH there. And then the displays also show like the date here, April 14th, and they show the altitude, 4,961 feet. Here's where it's in the black hut mode. See the jet plumes coming out of the A10 and see the UAP. Okay, so now there's it's stability issue, so we had to adjust the stability and remove the displays so that you can see what's going on. So when we do that, what we noted is that there's it's like each frame stacked in the helical oscillation motion.
That, man, the work you're doing with the rendering is just next level, Mr. Boyd.
Okay, and now here we have a far field observation, and you can see this, it's an atmospheric phenomena, a vortex, and a wave of atmospheric particle flux towards the Earth.
Yeah, you can see almost looks like some light pillars and stuff amongst it.
Okay, so now we're going to look at it in the near field, and we can again see the magnet. It's being buffeted by surrounding wave of particles interacting. So now on April 15th, it was due to a crack opening up in the Earth's magnetic field. And so again, I went on spaceweather.com and I put in that date, and this little graph here below, you can see it has this like window about an hour and a half, 2 hours, where it says B sub Z tilted south for 2 hours, opening a crack in the Earth's magnetic field. So just think of that crack in the Earth's magnetic field is letting in all the proton flux from outer space. There's no shield there. So that's why you saw them particles in the background.
Or how they got it. Oh, I see what you're saying. But okay, is that how they traveled to get in, right? If it was from the sun,
crack in the atmosphere, so there was no magnetic shield. And at the same time on the sun, there was a sunspot.
Yeah, right. You're putting that all together. That's amazing science right there that you've got.
The Solar Dynamic Observatory, you can see these sunspots or islands of magnetism floating on the surface of the sun. Okay, now we're going to
whether or not it's necessarily a natural phenomenon, or it could also be an advanced technology or entity that is utilizing those forces of the masses and energies of the sun and planet too.
Exactly. Certainly. So now we have La Bruja, or the witch. It's one UAP. We have it's black hot, you'll see, and you'll see the UAP is cold on the IR. It's white. So now we're gonna open up. Hopefully you'll be able to see the video. If not, we'll have to
close and restart it.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Might have to do that again.
Let's see here.
This is a lot of work that you've put together, Mr. Boyd, in deciphering these videos and plotting them and keeping the government's disclosure meaningful to the public, and actually helping science with what the work that you're doing here, sir.
Can you see the video?
No, it's still the same slide showing the IR image.
Okay, let me. I have to. Let's see here.
Stop share at the top and then reshare at the bottom. I think.
Yeah, I gotta. Okay. Let's go stop share. And then reshare. Can you see the blue screen?
You gotta. It's showing the file folder right now.
Okay. Still not working.
It showed the file, like it's still showing the file folder, not the video itself.
Yeah, I gotta unshare again and reshare. I got it. I'll get it.
Exactly. This has been one epic stream and presentation, my friend.
Okay, now can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. We 100% got it.
Okay, here we go. It's about a minute long. Okay, remember, black is hot. Now you'll see some cows, so I'll point out right before the UAP shows up.
Good old cows.
Okay, there you go. There's a UAP.
This one's close to the ground, eh? So this kind of looks like ball lightning-ish, like something that you've seen along the ley lines that make the crop circles.
See the cows?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
straight over them.
Are walking compared to how fast the UAP is moving. That's important.
Yes, absolutely. That's key reference. That's not ball lightning, though. Definitely not.
No, it's something else. But it's definitely cold.
That could be a ghoul or a ghost.
Or cold fusion.
Right? Yet another type. Yet another type. And I'll let you finish up, and then I will bring up my alchemy electrolysis. That is going to be a whole nother episode I need to get you for. But
yeah, okay. Let's go back to the video, to the presentation. Okay, so now you've seen the video.
Yes, sir.
Okay, why isn't it? There we go. So obviously we have a UAP here. The location of the UAP in the vicinity of the grazing cattle provides a perspective on the size and velocity of the UAP. Steve did some imaging analysis on the effects. The cold temperatures unexplained. The slow velocity and indifference of the cattle to the nearby phenomena suggests the feature was benign. On as far as the sun goes, the sun was blank, no sunspots, but we didn't see any CMEs or anything. The question is this naturally occurring or artificial, manufactured? Because it's so slow, maybe it's a balloon or something. So now here I've got just those frames with the cattle, so you can see how fast this thing is moving. Not that fast.
Yeah, it's a complete different type of entity, UAP distortion.
So when we look at the far field, we saw these weird images showing up. And Steve was suggesting that, yeah, well, if it's artificial, these guys are trying to mimic the lightness of kind of like ghosts. You'll see. Next few slides. Here's another one.
Whoa. That's some creepy, ghostly sort of entity things.
Look at that.
It's almost what you see like in the cave paintings.
Yeah, look at this one.
And Rex, are you here? Because like this, like that looks exactly like what Rex constantly sees in the caves around.
Weird. Did the sound get really low? If so, sorry. Let me know. I think it gets fixed soon if it is the case.
Okay, so now here's the last one. I gotta finish up though because I gotta feed the people.
Yes, sir. He should be back any minute because it is the end.
Okay. We're probably gonna have to stop share again to see the.
No worries.
Come on, open up.
Once the next one we'll do on StreamYard again, Mike, and we'll be able to preload a bunch of the content and stuff like that ahead of time, so it'll run more smoothly.
Okay. You're gonna need that to stop it. Mom's making a mess.
Okay, I saw that, and that was amazing.
You did. Nice.
Cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to.
I figured you'd be watching in the background somewhere, as I usually do. Don't have to have the.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Zoom, but the yeah, like just on the phone and whatnot. It's awesome. And Rex, in the future, I gotta do like an hour with you on or just on StreamYard to just show you how much like simpler and easier it is to tie in, so that it's like you can go live on like your Twitter, your Facebook, multiple YouTubes, and your website simultaneously, and then also have like a whole bunch of ability to preload some videos into it, as well as like pictures, slides and stuff, and it's just exponentially easier for recording and live streams.
Yeah, but Bernie, I keep telling you, man, the reason I put $50,000+ into the website is so I can do the shows.
No. So it's that you could do. It's that only like half hour or an hour has to go.
Michael's got to feed his family. Let's talk about this later, bro. Michael's got to feed.
Sorry.
This video to work. Okay, can you guys see that video?
So I see the file, but not the actual video. The file of the video.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Unshare. Stop share. Start share screen. Here we go. I think this is the one I already showed, isn't it, Bernie? Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see it again. I mean, this is incredible.
The one
what is
with
it,
the
30
cows.
feet off the ground? How high is it off the ground?
You got the wrong one open. Okay, hold on. Got to go back to the PowerPoint and.
Well, while you're pulling that up, Michael, how high off the ground was that UFO? Like 30 feet off the ground?
It wasn't very high, no.
Wow, that's wild. It's almost like it was looking for a cow. It was like scanning.
Right?
The cow.
I was like, did it? It looked like it almost paused momentarily around the cows, or like went up or something. I was like consciously thinking, like, how is it interacting around those cows?
Yeah.
One just turned mutilated all of a sudden. Like
the cow didn't.
Is this the moment?
Okay, let's try this now. I think I got it right this time. Okay, can you see the video now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's go 20 point. Okay, I started a little 20. No, I want to get it to the right point so you can see. Yeah, there's this. Okay, here we go. So this is before it comes into the image. That's
So is this one an Apache or a Warthog again that it's filming from?
This is Rubber Duck we're watching. Okay, so now you're going to start right about now. You're going to see some cows. See the cows there? Now the rubber duck's going to show up right now. There it is. See it?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The rubber duck, I get it. Weird.
Yeah, it's
weird shape.
It's cold. And notice that when it goes over the white stuff is the snow down below. And the black stuff is the warm stuff. So the cows, remember the cows were black because they were warm.
Kind of looks like the Jetsons head, like that robot, like like the.
It's so.
But not at all what it is. Not at all. I'm just.
So, but basically, that's you know, it's pretty much the same thing over and over again for like another 30 minutes. So,
like that potentially I could see as possible super advanced military drone technology testing that one, but like because it's nothing like the TicTac's.
I think it's natural. So okay.
That and it could well be even more. Right? It's
to me, it looks like a ship. To me, it looks like a craft, a drone of some type that is clearly above most people's pay grade because it's completely, it's not sending any thermal, and they're using super high-end FLIR technologies. So that to me looks like one of the TicTac's, man. But you can see like it's got a little tiny antenna. It's got some antenna.
Yeah,
thing.
right. So, and I guess these ones were recently cleared by the Pentagon as authentic and all.
So here we go. Here's some imaging where I basically you see the black cattle and they're warm, and then you see the rubber duck shows up, and you can see it says BH down in the left lower. It's that BH. I mean, it's black hot. So see the cow there.
Yeah, the three. All right.
Here comes the rubber duck.
Right, it's like it's almost got a little bulb that's separated from the main like cylinder cigar shapey-ish, like bulby.
So here's a far field image, and we see these topographical features like it's like these there's magnetic anomalies that you can see as it travels over the surface of the ground. It's kind of like magnetic field effects associated with the surface topography of the underlying terrain.
That's really fascinating. Sorry.
Why would you? Oh no, that's okay. My bad. Why would you think that this is natural though?
Well, I'll show you in the next couple slides.
Okay.
Okay, so on November 23rd, when the UAP is due to a coronal mass ejection that occurred on November 24th. And it says the southern hole is open in the sun's atmosphere and it's spewing solar wind towards the Earth. So
now this is the second video you've shown out of these UFOs that have been confirmed recently by the Pentagon that has a solar flare. the day after or the day before that these happened?
The day after this was observed. And it's because, like I said, there's a pre-signal from the sun the day before. It affects, as that one scientist suggested, it has to do with the vibrational effects, because space-time vibrates. It's not like light. Light goes in a straight line, but space-time goes in a spiral.
Oh yes, it's always in that spiral, the vortex. So it's either that it's a natural coming from the sun, like space weather is what you're saying, the cause, but it could also be that a conscious higher technology or beings have also used this masses and energies of the sun and planet interactions for the appearances.
Like a lot of observing UFOs with thunderstorms and stuff.
Please. I'm having the
Okay.
mob on myself.
Okay. I'll be done.
Family is hungry.
My time window is closed, folks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being a guest on LeakProject, and thank you for all that you do. I'd be honored to speak with you again.
Yeah, it was fun. I just wish I had more time.
Absolutely. We will do it again. Me and Rex have been talking in the background that we'll try to arrange a panel of other renowned ufologists in the scientific realm that we can do an epic episode on.
Okay,
thanks, Michael.
Thanks for having you guys. Thanks for having me. Gotta go though.
See you, brother.
Yeah,
Take care,
for
man.
sure, Mr.
You're
Boyd.
awesome.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for sharing your family story as well.
Oh, cool.
And
no problem. Thank you.
I'll email you.
That drama, dudes.
I'm hanging up right now. Bernie, love you, brother. Talk to you
love
soon.
you as well. Guys, have a good one.
All right. Well, there we go. So who we got here is Bernie.
See you.
That's still going. Where's Bernie? Bernie's out somewhere. I don't know how to stop that. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That was something a bit different, something a bit interesting. We've got Bernie's everywhere. Now we've got Bert and Ernie's, right? Bernie's. All right. So we are 3 hours. So, yeah, something a bit different there, something to ponder. Pretty interesting, though, right? What are those things? Are they, are they part of the energies, the plasma apocalypse? Are they other beings? What's going on? Are they ghosts, spirits, gods? All names, right? So thank you for joining us and for being awesome people. The chat's been really cool. Thank you to all the trolls, past, present, and future. And I should be back tomorrow. I've got all the footage editing the Tartaria Australia, which is Kelly and I walking around Melbourne, basically showing all the cool buildings. So that should be up hopefully tomorrow night, if not Monday at the latest. And then we should be back to our regular Thursday night scheduled time. So stay all, everyone, and I'll talk to you all on the next load. Bye for now.